he's like, all right, I want you to take this. He hands it to me. And he says, I want you to hit yourself in the leg with it. And I want you to inject it. I'm like, what? And I'm kind of freaked out. Like, what? And so he's like,
a doctor, so you
he's
did what
a
he
doctor.
said.
So he's kind of pressuring me. He's telling me this B vitamin is not all natural. So I do it. And he goes, good. I wanted to see if you had the balls to be my patient. And I look at Rachel.
Weird.
I look at Rachel and I'm like, this is not the guy.
No. What's up, everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Tug of More.
Guys, we are thrilled, excited, pumped that you're here hanging out with us.
That's right.
Just another conversation between two friends.
That's right.
About where we are today, but where we want to be.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about where we've been, which is going to be part of how we got to the tug, the tension, and the fight of more.
That's true.
So it's going to be good.
So I think we normally we have like this big intro, but I think we just skip all the funny shenanigans and we just hit it.
You know that we're funny and wonderful and adorable. You like us because you're our friend and you follow us, so you don't need it today.
Okay, so we're in the series at More Church called Headspace.
Dun, dun, dun.
If you've been missing it, how come, right?
Yeah.
It's been great.
It has been, I was trying to pull it up, but like we've had so much engagement online for a series in a long time, but not because we're like awesome and trying to get clicks and all things, but because I think people really are wanting to learn how to navigate their headspace, and we're all just kind of sick of it.
Yeah.
Like since 2020, we've all been like very much more aware of our emotional and mental health, and we're all kind of sick of it. And I think everybody's like, how do we just actually take control of it and get back to a healthy headspace? And
so we've been dealing with like very specific scriptures each week about how we need to navigate the headspace.
Yes, what the Bible says about it.
Like
it's not just what is the thing some people might say of
cutesy, like ethereal,
pop culture-y, like, but this is actually biblical truth about our heads and our minds. And so a man thinks, or as a man thinks, so is he.
So is he. And so it's been really powerful for me to teach and for you to teach, because I'm like even healing in the process.
Absolutely.
But this last Sunday, we went somewhere in the teaching of Headspace that we want to give some extension of ideas to, because you just run out of time.
Right.
You're up there, we talk for maybe 50 minutes and we're just like, we have so much more to say.
Well, we literally, our last 2 points, we literally just like, here they are. And because we ran out of time. Yeah.
And so we've been getting a ton of questions already. And so we're like, let's just do an episode and answer some of the questions we've been getting. Here's the premise if you didn't watch the message. Oh, which you should. There it is. Check it out. The idea is that our mind, where your memories are, and like out of your mind, everything else flows, lives in your brain. Your brain is flesh, but your brain lives in your body. And so if your body is unhealthy, if the systems of my actual meat vehicle, my body, are screwed up, it's going to affect my brain. If my brain's affected, it's going to affect my mind, which is going to affect my life, how I treat my loved ones, how I make decisions, if I have peace or not. All this stuff is affected in our overall physical health. And so we did a whole week on physical health. And so I don't want to recap the message.
I think we could just we talked about 5 areas that really are like essential to your healthy physical bodies. Because we talked about it like, yes, some of us have sickness and things that we like kind of can't control, but we do have things we can control.
Correct.
And so the things we can really work on is our sleep, our hydration, our blood work, like knowing our blood levels, and then exercise and nutrition.
Correct.
Those are the 5 things that we really got a lot of information out about the first 3. Because the other 2, a lot of people already know about anyway. And that's what we heard the most was like, thank God you talked about things that we don't all know a lot about. But those are the 5 things we really focused on. And
but there's so much more to those first, the hormone,
really to all of it. Yes. And so we're just going to talk about a few things. But I think the first, go.
Why did we?
That's the first question.
Why did we give a Sunday? Where you should be like in sermon mode. Like we should be teaching we should be teaching about
to
John or like Matthew or Ezekiel. Why did we take a Sunday morning, which is like gospel centric time, to teach on this seemingly kind of secular idea?
Well, first of all, the Bible talks about it a lot. Like the Bible talks about I'm trying to find this one. Don't you realize your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you and was given to you by God? You do not belong to yourself. God bought you with a high price, so you must honor God with your body. Like there are lots of scriptures where it specifically talks about our bodies and how they're the place where the Holy Spirit dwells, and like that we're responsible to take care of it. Is one of them is whatever you eat or drink, do it unto the Lord. Like, and I think that we pretend like it's not spiritual. but God actually intended it for it to be very spiritual.
And in church culture, the talking about your body is not done a whole lot, I think, for a couple of reasons. One, because like it's through our body that we can get into sin.
Right.
And so I think that there's this idea that like if you're in the gym and getting your sexy back and concerned about like your fleshly look, then you're going to be easily led into sin. I saw a whole thing. This is probably really weird. Well, but this is a conversation, right?
Right. I was going to say.
I saw this whole thing. Okay. Do you ever notice how on these like statues of like David, like the marble carved statues, that their male anatomy is really small? The reason they did that is because in that era of the world, it was seen as so anything sexual, anything about the body was seen so fleshly that you were a more godly man if you weren't viewed in any kind of way associated with sexuality or like your body. Right. And so they would literally diminish intentionally because it was such a like taboo idea. Right. Sorry, there's kind of, maybe I shouldn't have said that illustration.
No.
But it feels taboo in church to talk about like physical health. But this is not like, hey, get bikini ready. This is not like six-pack sermon.
Right. Well,
this
essentially,
is health.
What we did over time was cover it up.
Yeah.
To the point that we covered it up so much that now it's just not even spoken about.
I mean, look at what they have nuns and priests.
Correct.
Literal drapery.
Right.
To like mask this thing that God put us in.
Yeah. And I think that's like, you and I did the conversation together, which could be seen both directions, but we did it on purpose because there are both male and female bodies that need different types of attention. But then also, it's not sexual. It is very like, it's by the word of God. Like he gave us our bodies. He wants us to take good care of them. And we've in the church gotten so afraid to talk about just regular real life things. And what you and I are watching is the phenomenon of the enemy coming in to seek, to steal, to kill, to destroy people's lives in their physical bodies.
Yeah.
And we had a lady come up to us after first service crying. And she said, I lost my husband 7 years ago. He was only 42 years old. He should not have died, but he had a heart attack because no one ever talked to him about his health, and he had no idea, no understanding. She said, thank you for saving families by talking about. And I'm like, we just made a commitment a long time ago. You said it on Sunday that God told us to build the people. So that's what we decided to do. Instead of building the building, he's taking care of all of that. We're trusting him for all of those pieces. And part of building people is being willing to talk about all the things.
Right. We talked the week previously about patterns that we can fall into. And I think that maybe what's happened is the world has gotten such a firm grip on the body, on looking good and tuck and nip and like all this thing about the body, that it's almost the church has rejected it as if it's bad. It's like you give the world all music. It'd be like if the church gave the world all music, because so much music is secular that we just were like, well, we're just never going to sing.
Right.
Because singing is evil. No, singing's not evil. Does the world have a really manipulated usage of music? Yes.
So we better fight harder to produce better music.
Exactly.
So that we're not
because it's a
tempted
gift
to fall into the world, but instead we can have
music
great
is a
understanding.
Gift from God.
Exactly.
And so that's what we're attempting here, is that the body is something we have to reclaim.
Absolutely.
For kingdom use. And if your mind is messed up, maybe it's because your body's messed up.
Well, and we got away with it for so long. Brady talked about how like growing up, she only ever saw overweight pastors. Oh. And you talk about that all the time in Bible college.
I'm sitting in Bible college. We had chapel 5 days a week where like a guest pastor would come in and preach. And like morning after morning after morning, these guys would come in and be 300 pounds. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like their suit coat would barely button, and know, and it's just like, is this what a man of God looks like? And it kind of was.
Well,
I think it's one of the reasons that I allowed myself to get up to 275 pounds.
Well, and so much of the opposite of those comments would be, well, it's just vanity if you're taking care of yourself.
Right.
That's literally what I struggled with a ton, because I grew up really believing like if you really took care of yourself, then you're doing this like out of, some sort of selfish ambition. And I'm like, no, wait a minute. Now, is there proper balance to this? Yes. But that's what you and I are doing in the conversation, is saying, let's bring balance to this understanding.
And I still struggle with it. I still like battle that idea of, is it flesh or is it out of line? Like, I've started posting reels. If I am at the gym and I do a workout, I'll post a reel. And I've asked Whitney and Rachel, I'm like, hey, is this okay? Is this arrogant? Is this like not good to do? Because I don't want it to come across boisterous. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, if I'm going to post all these other areas of my life that I would hope people would model, then why would I not post this other content that I'm hoping people would see? Like, hey man, it's not just genetics that you're in shape or out of shape.
Right.
It's
an intentional disciplined decision.
Okay.
So this is why we talked about it. The other reason was to be willing to like break some of the misnomers and some shame around it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that what happens in people, we talked about it in one of the weeks, is cognitive dissonance, like this idea of you just bury your head in the sand about difficult things. And so, like, you know what we should do to gain an audience?
Right.
Preach uncomfortable stuff.
Yeah.
To gain an audience, if I can get you to laugh and tickle your ear, you're going to keep coming. But instead, what we're trying to do is pull people's heads out of the sand. Mm-hmm. Like, if your head's been in the sand in your marriage or in your emotional health, Headspace, we've been pulling it out of the sand and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so what this message has done is, the goal was to pull our heads out of the sand that, man, we're feeling a tightness in our chest, but we haven't went to the doctor for 4 years.
Right.
Man, we have a really circulation problem and our arms keep falling asleep, but we're just not going to talk to anybody about it. Mm-hmm. Man, I keep having this killing me headache, but I'm going to be okay. Like, guys, we have to open our eyes and see it, and that's the goal.
Yeah, and
it's like, not comfortable though.
No, we keep talking about it. Health is hard, and we've been committed to health. We did a little diagram that we did like with a graphic of our emotional, mental, physical, and how what we like to think, or what we see a lot, is people who focus on their emotional health, or people who focus on their mental health, or people who focus on their physical health. But recognizing all of these matter and they all correlate with one another. And the more we did another circle of like our spiritual health, the more we focus on our spiritual health, these all should come into closer alignment.
They don't naturally.
They don't. But they should. And so we decided, like, we've just spent 8 weeks talking about our mental health. Like, we've spent, how long was Devil versus Default talking about our emotional health? Yeah. Like, so we better spend some time talking about our physical health and not let the fact that I talked about perimenopause freak us out from like actually saying the words. Yeah. Like, it's real. We have to talk about it. And what's funny is, what are we going to do? Save that for, I think my kids helped me understand this best, because when they were young in the youth group, they would talk about things that were real, and like sex, porn, all these things. And I remember having to make a decision as a mom that I want them to learn about that here at church, rather than on the school bus or at school with their friends. And the same should be true here in the church. Why am I going to save my conversation about my physical health with drinks with the girls on a Tuesday or something, rather than in church where it should be? Yeah. That's where I would much rather women learn how to actually live healthy lives and have healthy bodies for their families.
And we said, we're not doctors.
Over and over again, we said it.
And we're saying it again here. We're not health professionals. We're not doctors. We're telling our story of what we've experienced in the hopes that you'll just take
a step,
the next right step for you in your health.
Absolutely.
Misnomers. I think that sometimes when we start talking about our physical health, that we think it's going to be too hard, or like we've failed 100 times in the past. So then we're kind of like, well, screw it.
Yep.
Like, I can't do it. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a gym person. I'm not a health person. But like, don't sell yourself short. You know, like, just because you're not winning Mr. Olympia, or you're not like, you know, Instagram, TikTok influencer, bikini lady.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you still can't pursue your best version of you being healthy. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, I'm 43 now. And so you have to settle in of like, dude, I'm not going to have the body of a 25-year-old.
Right.
That's not what it is anymore. But I'm going to pursue that this vehicle is, at least I'm doing something. And it's never going to be perfect. Like, We went today to lunch to Pluckers.
Right.
Whitney and I just ate chicken and, well, I got a salad.
Yeah.
But I ate half of somebody else's French fries across the table. You're never perfect, but it's, are you in balance? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think what I've recognized is like, what does health, it's what you said about like, it's not about a skinny bikini body. Like, I'm healthier at 42 than I was at 25.
Oh, 100%.
I'm healthier.
Yeah.
And now I might have looked better in pictures.
Yeah.
At 25.
Yeah.
But I was skinny fat. I was so unhealthy. I look back now at the diet I ate when I was pregnant with both my kids, and like I had so lack of awareness of what it actually was to have healthy nutrition that like my son was made on like Sonic corn dogs and like to-go Chinese food. Like that's crazy compared to how I eat now.
How my son was made.
You know what I mean? Like
the foundation of Easton's DNA
of him, right?
Is to-go Chinese food.
It's ridiculous. But yet that wasn't healthy, nor was it sustainable. And I think that's what you and I are like. We want people to have sustainable lives, sustainable lifestyle. So we're not trying to tell you to, get back to your high school jeans. That's not what that's not what it's about. It's about finding the healthiest version of you today and then making a sustainable lifestyle. Because you and I, we shared on stage, like we've done crazy extreme things.
Huge swings.
To try to like lose weight and try to be healthy, but they weren't sustainable things.
Right.
They were absurd things.
Well, and losing body fat is different than maintaining that weight.
Correct. Absolutely.
So like for me I'm 220 right now. So to get to 220 was harder work than it is to sustain at 220.
Absolutely.
So you've kind of got to go a little hard to then let it calm
balance
down.
back out.
But when you're young, your body can bounce back easier.
100%.
And so you're able to abuse it.
Yeah.
But once you hit a certain age, for me it was 35, you hit a certain age and you're like, oh, if I'm going to keep abusing myself, I'm going to pay for it.
Absolutely.
I've heard it said that what you eat in your 40s and 50s turns into what you're diagnosed with in your 50s, to what you have to manage in your 60s, to what kills you in your 70s.
That's crazy, but true.
And like, if I don't want to be sick in my 60s and die in my 70s, I had better look at what I'm doing in my 40s.
Right.
Okay, misnomers. Any other misnomers? Or I have a stigma.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I know for sure which is which, but like, no, I think the misnomer of just when it's talked about, what is your internal dialogue?
This is good.
What is your internal defense mechanism? Like, I like joked about how Aaron, would try to get me in the gym and I would get defensive, but it was very real. What I had to realize was you're insecure to go to the gym.
He loves me.
He loves me. He cares about me. He hears me complain.
Yeah.
He's just trying to help me get to where I'm
here's
going.
you complain about how you feel or how you look.
About how I look, how my pants fit, how my fat around my face, like he hears it. He loves me. He cares about me. He sees me exhausted at 5 p.m. He sees all these things. He's trying to help me. And I am not actually mad at him. I'm mad at the insecurity in me that is afraid to go, that is afraid to look stupid. I'm mad at the years I didn't go try. I'm mad at the seasons when
you couldn't.
Couldn't go or couldn't.
Lost time.
Yeah, and I'm mad at my own self is what is true. And now I'm projecting that anger at him. And I think the same can be said, and we've even had people say like they were kind of frustrated at us when we started talking, but then they realized they weren't really frustrated at us. They were frustrated at their own selves for the shame they felt or the insecurity they felt or the wall they've built. And you have to figure that out before you can really make the real progress, or when it gets bad or you have a hard, because it's not like we made the decision, then we never had a hard day again.
Oh no.
There's plenty of days that like I didn't make it to the gym or I did eat like complete garbage or whatever. And I had to make the decision of why am I so frustrated? Because on those days are the days I want to point back at Aaron and be like, this is your fault.
Yeah.
Or we point back at you. Like, if you wouldn't get healthy, then I wouldn't feel peer pressure to be healthy. So go back to regular twisted root trust and let's go back to that.
Right.
It would be easier to get frustrated on those days if I didn't deal with, no, it's not about him. It's not about him. You're mad at your own self. And here's why. And so I think some of the misnomer is like, you might have the wrong belief of why you're frustrated and can't do it.
That was so good. that some of y'all need to rewind it 3 minutes and listen to what she said again about how Aaron would invite her to tell her to go to the gym and she would get mad at him, but she was really mad at herself.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Because I think that we don't admit that is truth.
Right.
And then we can come in and hear a pastor say something that we don't like.
Right.
And we're just in that pattern of getting mad at them.
Getting mad.
And when we started, like when I started my health journey, I wanted Rachel to go along with me of like doing the blood work and all the things, and she wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to lead. And so I remember the only way I got her to do it is I just paid for it. I paid for it. I gave the doctor the money, and I told Rachel, hey, I already spent this. It was like $350 for the first initial whatever blood work. And I was like, so you're either going to do it or it's just wasted money. She was not happy.
Yeah.
But now that she's 3 years into the process, she's like, thank you for pushing me, because she had vitamin deficiencies and she had stuff that was hormonal imbalances that she had to figure out.
And it makes me think, like, once you do, I'm getting off of our like thoughts, but like you can't get mad at the people you've asked to come into the conversation, equation, and accountability-ness with you.
Right.
Like,
if you've called them friends,
if you've called them to be like, because once I said yes, okay, I will go. Well, let's go at 7 a.m. We would go 3 to 4 days a week, 7 a.m. before he would go to work. And there were lots of days when the alarm would go off and the light would come on and I would be ticked, but I wasn't allowed to get mad at him because he was trying to help me because he loved me. Like, you know what I mean?
And you said yes when you were not in your emotions.
When I was not. And so, yes, so all of that.
I wanted to speak to a little bit about some of the stigmas around all of this. You know, we talked about like hormonal balance and stuff. And when you start talking about any of that, it's easy to let all this other like news information fall into the bucket of our brain. Because when my doctor started talking to me about like hormone levels and testosterone and estrogen, the first thing that came to my mind was like Hulk Hogan as a young man saying, just say your prayers and take your vitamins. And like, that's all I need to do. But then later on, Hulkster and all these other wrestlers going to court with Vince McMahon about steroid use in the WWF. And then like all the stigma around steroids and like Lance Armstrong and Mark McGuire and like
performance enhancing
and all these guys. And so like I had to go and do some actual research about what is the difference between like superhuman, optimized, and unhealthy. And when I realized that I was unhealthy, my goal was not to become superhuman, but my goal is to just live optimized. It helped me understand it. Like on Sundays, I didn't get into like numbers of like testosterone health numbers.
A little, I don't know if you did or not. I can't remember.
If you go talk to your doctor, now this is just men. I can't speak to the estrogen side of women, but like for men, they say that you're supposed to be between 300 and 1,000 nanograms per deciliter of your blood of testosterone. But like 300 on the low end is not healthy. This is just the American average.
Right.
And so when I went in, I was 326. And my first doctor was like, well, you're within the range. And I'm like, but dude, I feel like garbage. I'm like, I don't feel good. And so they started talking to me about all these different things and started asking me like when I started shaving. It's like, dude, I started shaving at 13 every day.
Right.
And they started looking at my male pattern baldness. Because if you start losing your hair, you're losing your hair because you're losing your testosterone. Because you had high test that you've now started to lose. And so they're telling me all these things that are like, dude, you have something going on. And so I was like, okay, but I don't want roid rage. I don't want to do anything that's going to make me this big, angry man. And they're like, well, these bodybuilders and all these guys are in superhuman 5,000 nanogram, 6,000 nanograms. You need to be in 700, 600. And so I said it on Sunday. I was pretty nervous to say it, but I'm okay to say it now. That like I did it's a pharmaceutical cycle of a product called enclomiphene. I took it for 90 days and it reset my body's ability to create its own testosterone.
Yeah.
And that might be the right step for you. Or the right step might be that you get on exogenous. This is a shot or a pellet or a cream, testosterone. Or there might be a peptide that you can take. I'm going to talk through some of these later. That you can take and it's going to help you. But there's like this misinformation that you're like, if I do that, I'm going to have a heart attack. No. If you do that times 5, you're going to have a heart attack.
Right.
But if you do it within an optimal, just like you could take too much vitamin D and die.
Right.
You could, if Rachel has an iron deficiency, so she takes iron. She could take too much iron and die because you could get iron poisoning. But you have to do it in the right balance.
I think that's what's really important that you and I talked about is that like we're not doctors, so we went to doctors.
Right.
And we worked really hard to find the right doctors. And you talked about that a little bit. You shared a story of going in, a guy was like what you just said. He said, was maybe a part of that WWF
dude, this
ring
dude
of
had
guys.
a big vein in his head, and I took Rachel with me, and I'm in his office maybe 10 minutes. And within 10 minutes, he tells me to take my pants off. I had underwear on, to pull your pants down. And he comes in with a needle, and he has B vitamins in it. So it's not like a steroid or synthetic anything. He's like, all right, I want you to take this. He hands it to me. And he says, I want you to hit yourself in the leg with it, and I want you to inject it. I'm like, what? And I'm kind of freaked out, like, what? And so he's like,
a doctor, so you
he's
know
a doctor. So he's kind of pressuring me. He's telling me his B vitamins is not all natural. So I do it. And he goes, good. I wanted to see if you had the balls to be my patient. And I look at Rachel. Weird. I look at Rachel and I'm like, this is not the guy.
No,
like I'm never coming.
Not the guy.
I'm never coming here again.
Right.
But you know what happens is we get overwhelmed to try to find a doctor. Or we had a bad experience with a doctor like that one, and then we're like, I'm just going to not do it again.
Yeah.
But we talked with our staff a little bit this morning, and you said something great in there. You said, the way that you find a doctor is if you have insurance.
Yeah.
Call your insurance.
You literally can get online. You can go online. You can call them. They will give you a list of like in-network providers, and then you just start researching them. So the way we found emotional health, mental health counselors was looking up on websites and seeing who was the right one. And
so I genuinely started getting on these people's websites. Do they have a YouTube page? I would go and listen to some of their stuff. I'd see their picture. If they look like some big roided out monster, I'm like, you're not my guy.
Right.
If they look like a dude who's out of shape and unhealthy, I'm like, you're not my guy. If they look like they've had 90 pounds of male plastic surgery, I'm like, you're not.
Right.
And so I finally found somebody who was like, this seems like the right lane.
When I first was trying to figure out where to go, I wanted to go to someone that like dealt with female like understanding. Because again, my PCP was like what you just said. All of your stuff is an acceptable range. But you said it on Sunday. There's a difference between acceptable and optimal. And so like for me, I've never taken birth control or anything in my life. And so like all of my estrogen, all of those levels have never been jacked with because I've just always been kind of in this more natural vein. But something was off, and that's
but had a baby 4 months into marriage.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so still my estrogen levels are like at a level. I mean, they're like, you could probably get pregnant right now. I'm like, no, I'm good. I've got grown. I'm about to be grandma someday. I'm not trying to do that. But my testosterone level as a female was tanked, and I felt miserable and couldn't figure it out. And so again, I was like, we were talking about it on Sunday. I'm like, this is not what I'm telling you to do. Go figure out what's right for you and not and for other people. But I had a friend who was sharing with me some of her struggle and some of her similar female like issues. And so I was like, okay, where'd you go? But what about this? And I gave her some of those stigmas and misnomers that I already had in my head too. Yeah. And she and I we're similar in our goals and our lifestyle choices and our spiritual beliefs. And so like she was someone trusted that I thought, okay, I'll go check out who she goes to because I trust her. You know what I mean? And so like sometimes it's if you're intimidated by it or like afraid or you look on the website and you're like, I don't know, you ought to just ask somebody like, who do you go? Where do you go? And so I went to the place for a while until they sold off to like another place that then became very much a franchise. And so I loved my first doctor, but then it was time to change again. And similar thing, I talked with some girls in the lobby of the church that I know and knew that they were on a similar journey and was like, where are you going? And again, we have totally different blood works and totally different regimens in situations, but we live a similar life. And so I knew these ladies are not trying to just get bikini body ready for their whatever. They're trying to live healthy, sustainable female lives. And so I'm like, don't be afraid to talk about it. And I think that's a big reason, again, why you and I were like, we're going to talk about it. Because I just want it to be acceptable to talk about. I want it to be comfortable. Yeah. Please message me. I love how many people have messaged us in the last 2 days, just asking simple questions, vitamins, hydration, and doctor's offices, because that's the whole point. If we're going to be the community in the body of Christ. That's the whole thing. We're in this together. Let's work on it together. Why not?
Right.
Don't make it so hard.
Guys don't talk about stuff like girls do.
Yeah, they don't.
Just generally. And so like I've had a hard time.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been able to find anybody.
Yeah,
I've tried to talk to guys and they just don't. And even if you go talk to a dude who's really good and in fantastic shape,
right,
they kind of give you this whole like, I work hard and I just eat meat. And I'm like, okay, but I'm working out hard and eating right and I'm just not making the changes.
Yeah.
And so talking to people, because Rachel's on the other side. Rachel took birth control like right as we got married. Every morning her alarm went off on her phone for 5 years.
Right.
And it did cause some stuff in her that she had to pull back into balance. And so finding some people to talk to.
Well, I think it's just, again, why you have to find a doctor, not try to self-prescribe yourself. That's because you and I were talking about that. Like you can go to places and order things online and do some stuff yourself, but then like your hemoglobin levels might get off and you, like all of these, it's just, we've learned so much that it's like, you have to be under a doctor's care.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, it's hard to know because everything online that you can learn to study from is a commercial.
Correct.
And so like
it's for sale. Something is for sale.
Just because they're telling you this is good doesn't mean it's good for you. Mm-hmm. And so don't just take 90 vitamins.
Right.
Because, it said in this magazine or in this article that it's good, because it might not be what's right for you until you have a doctor check you out. Okay, let's talk about the doctor process. I guess. So I had met a guy locally that I just connected with who's like a real natural homeopathic vitamin guy. And he's the first dude that I went and started talking with. And he got me just taking a handful of vitamins that I started feeling like, oh, this is working. But then that was his cap. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, you're not the guy. Mm-hmm. Then I went to my primary care and he didn't really have a whole lot of direction because I was in like ranges that were healthy, but I felt like garbage.
Yeah.
Then I go to big meathead dude who was not the fit. Then I went to 2 others that weren't right. And so I started doing a ton of research online. Mm-hmm. And I've got a bunch of podcasts that I'm going to tell you in a minute that I started listening to. And they were all pointing at this one company called Merrick Health. And this is not a commercial. I pay them. They don't pay me. But I started using Merrick Health. And we'll put it in the show notes. We'll put it in the description. You can see Merrick Health there. And so like I set up a call with Merrick Health and they have their telehealth company that's based out of Michigan, but my provider is in Austin. And so I set up this call with my provider and he talks to me about like how it works. So I pay the money, I get the blood work done. It takes maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then they set up a consult with me, my provider, and a doctor. And so like there's a dude who's like the nurse practitioner, right, who understands it all, but isn't the like able to write a script or anything. Right. And so then I had I think an hour and a half long faced like a video call and they walk line by line through my blood work and explain to me what's what. Because I don't know what the junk none of these abbreviations even mean. Right. And they started explaining to me and then they said, okay, and so here's essentially 3 levels of what you could do. There's the like everything, full kitchen sink option, then what we would suggest, and then the like maybe if you want to take it a little bit slower of what do you want to do. And like in the beginning, it started super simple. Or it's still simple, but they prescribed me vitamin D. Mm-hmm. So it was not just like go to Costco and buy vitamin D. This was like in a prescription bottle I paid for. It was super high dose and like super pure, all these things to get me back regulated. And for a while I took a prescribed omega-3 fatty acid because it's a lot different than what you buy just at Walmart. Right. Like some of the stuff you have to do a little bit of Googling on is like, is this stuff rancid? Is this stuff even good? And I started feeling better. And then after I built this relationship with Merrick, I now trust them that they're not just selling me product and they understand my goal. My goal, I told the guy that I got with, and it's God's providence, the guy I got connected with is a Christian. Like he's a real believer. And he's watched a bunch of my sermons. And so I'm kind of speaking into his life and he's speaking into my life. And he's able to listen to like what my goals are. So I gave him the whole, when I'm 65, I believe my calling really, God has a new era for me or something. And so it's been super helpful.
Well, I was trying to look it up. I have an app that when you're talking about vitamins and like supplements and whatnot, it's an app called Prove It. And you can scan the the vitamin, the supplement. You can scan. You can drop in like a ad. You can drop in Amazon link, whatever, to then talk to you about the safety, the efficacy, and the transparency of because some vitamins are junk. Some
efficacy means like effectiveness.
Yeah.
How much is it actually working? Because if you put a 5-gallon bucket worth of a product into a rat, it might make a huge difference.
Right.
But if you put 2 pills into a human body, it might not do anything.
Right. And so, like, again, you can buy, vitamin D is a perfect one. You can buy every level of vitamin D vitamin, but how in the world do you know which one? And so this one has been helpful for me because then I can read all the good of like this specific brand. It rates it on like a scale of 1 to 100. And then it also gives you like alternatives of like, this one doesn't rate as high, so maybe you ought to try this one. Right. And that has been super helpful for me just in the research.
What's it called again?
Prove It, PR.
Prove it.
Like prove it, prove that you're good. Because like the magnesium that I found when I first started taking magnesium, it was jacking up my microbiome. It was jacking up my belly. And I was like, I'm not taking the right one. And I was reading about it and it's like, oh, if you take the wrong one, it can cause you digestive issues. So I was like searching for the right one to take. And so again, you can go down a rabbit hole and end up learning all the things, which is one thing that you love and are great at. And so some of it I benefited just from letting you do the research and learning from you. Yeah. But then other of it was like, I want to learn some of this for myself. And so you just have to find what works for you. I told you already said, like, I started with one doctor, then was looking for another. So right now I go to Institute for Hormonal Balance in Arlington. They have 3 locations. I looked it up: Prosper, Arlington, and now I lost it. I can't remember the other places far away.
Arlington, that's 3.
Arlington, Prosper, and then another one. I'll find it. But and again, and they see Willow Park. I don't know where that is. Willow Park, Texas. But they do all the things. They do weight loss. They do body contouring. They do facials and like But then they also do hormone testing. They do, and so you can go there and do any level. But what I love about them is they're just real people who are like trying to help you find your best self. And so I've never felt pressured or like what you said, we're gonna get you yoked. I've never felt that intensity. It's more just women who are willing to like listen and hear your concerns and then give you suggestions on what's next. And so you just have to keep going. And it's part of what we talked about on Sunday. The Holy Spirit is with us in all our decisions, in all the things. And so like in the same way,
He'll give you peace or not give you peace.
Right. In the same way the Holy Spirit gave you peace about where to send your kids to school, He'll give you peace about what doctor to go to. And you just have to trust that still small voice. One of our staff today said, I grew up in Kansas, so I grew up going to the same doctor my whole life, all the things. And so I've been not feeling good with one of my specialist doctors, and I've been thinking I need to change. And I finally just was like, no, make the change. And then once they did, realized all of these things. And so I'm like, it's worth it to trust your still small voice and to just keep trying until you find the right thing. Okay, what are you looking up next?
Well, no,
we have notes today only because we want to stay on track.
We rarely have notes, but we just had so many things we wanted to say on Sunday we didn't get to. Yeah. So I've had people reach out and ask me like, where do we learn this stuff and how do you know who to trust?
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. I did not go to school for any of this stuff, but there's this couple guys that I follow pretty closely to learn from. One of them, there's a YouTube page. I mean, they have a whole website and a bunch of stuff that they produce called Mind Pump, and they have created what they call MAPS fitness programs that gives you like a lot of different workout strategies. And on their podcast, they'll answer questions that people can call in. And so you can literally search them and then search any question that you've got about like health and fitness, and they're probably going to have talked about it somewhere. So they're one. Then another one that I listen to is a guy named Derek. His YouTube page it's kind of goofy and it sounds cheesy, but he's leaning into this space, but he's the opposite of it. Derek is a page called More Plates, More Dates, which is kind of his joke, but this dude is a genius. And so any question you have about any of that hormonal stuff, men or women, Derek does a great job there. Probably the biggest brain of the space is a guy named Andrew Huberman. And so Andrew Huberman has his own podcast. I've listened to so much Andrew Huberman It's crazy to learn about all these different things. Then there's another guy who's on the real smart side named Peter Attia. And so Peter Attia is an incredible resource for understanding how all of these things work in your body.
Right, right.
And like, if you're like, should I take this supplement? What does the supplement even mean? I promise Peter Attia has talked about it. Last one is, there's another podcast called The Diary of a CEO. And this guy is amazing. He brings in health specialists and interviews them. And so they talk about like, he also invites in writers and like authors, a whole bunch of,
you shared a
I've
bunch
sent
of
some
those
of the
with me.
stuff,
Yeah.
but like a lot of the people that he brings in are really like niche focused. And like, you could just get on Diary of a CEO and search men's health, women's health, whatever your dietary issue struggle is, you can search that. And like, it's worth taking the time to get on YouTube and type in whatever your issue is. So like, if your doctor says that you have some deficiency, search it and watch 10 videos. You know, some of the videos are 3 minutes, some of them are 3 hours, but watch some videos, go on a walk and learn about all this. I studied vitamin D so much before I started taking it because I didn't believe it.
Huh.
I was like, yeah, right.
That's funny.
Right. You're telling me that this little thing is going to change my life? And then they give me a prescription.
Yeah.
And so I kind of don't trust that they're just trying to get paid.
Right.
Because I'm like, wait, your prescription is like 3 times the cost of what they sell at Walmart. I don't believe you. And so I remember I went for a walk I went for an hour walk. There's a loop at around like my neighborhood I can do. And I listened to this long thing on vitamin D and I was like, okay. And I started taking it and I'm telling you, it's made a shift. And so we're going to link all of those that I just said.
Yeah.
So you can go and find them and learn from them.
No, I think it's great. I mean, there's just so many resources now. That's the thing in like the world that we live in, like because of the internet, because there's so much more at our fingertips available than there used to be 30, 40. So we kind of don't have an excuse to not learn about it.
Except we feel overwhelmed, so we don't.
Correct. I was going to say, I think that can be the one piece that is like, because once I start looking, then I will continue looking till the point of where I'm like, I don't even know. And so like one of the things I said, like the gym was a big thing for me that I was super intimidated by. Yeah. And so there's a girl, her name is, I looked it up, Mackenzie Wells Fitness. She's in her late 30s and she helps women in their 30s and 40s get strong again. Yeah. And so again, she's just a fitness influencer that I follow, but she gives like food and workouts and like, because again, I grew up in the ideology. We didn't have a ton of time to talk about it on Sunday, but like of cardio is the thing for women. You got to do it. Don't get strong. You know, don't lift weights. I remember taking spin classes and my thighs started getting bigger, but they were just getting muscly, which they probably, if I would have stuck with it, they were musclier for a minute, which then would have slimmed down, which is what has now happened to me, but not what I allowed back then because I freaked out. Oh, my thighs, my jeans are tight in my thighs. Oh my God, I'm getting too bulky. It's absurd, but I didn't know. And so like I was sticking with some of the same things I had learned in my 20s and it was like, this is doing no good for me. Yeah. And so then I started going, okay, let me find some other women who are in a similar season of life who have the knowledge and understanding of what my body needs now and understanding that like if I will walk at an incline for 30 minutes, I'll actually get more both cardiovascular and fat burning like than I would if I run for the same amount of time at my age. And so like you just have to start looking at what your goals are and then finding the right fit for where you are at in your stage of life, I guess. Because I was I was going to some of the workout classes every, like literally 4 or 5 a week. And I'm like, I'm seeing no results.
Well, the other thing you're doing is not eating enough.
Yes, correct. This was the other thing.
So you are doing the wrong workouts and not eating enough. So you're double miserable. And then you're not seeing any progress.
And so frustrated and not recognizing, you have your body in like fight or flight freak out mode. Starved to death.
So your body's holding on to everything that it has.
And I think that that's what women in our 40s do, 30s and 40s, whatever, do wrong the most. We cut all our carbs, which is actually not good. We
cut all our fats.
Cut all of our fats.
Any hormones.
Your brain is then exhausted and starved and tired.
Yeah, your hair and nails and skin start
literally like when I look back over myself in my 30s and 40s, my hair could not get it to grow, all these things, and I'm like, oh, you were doing everything wrong.
Well, I remember you went to a lady to do your hair and she like burned your hair.
Yes.
You complained about it for like 3 years.
Yeah, I couldn't get it to grow back. But it was because I was not fueling myself correctly. And again, didn't understand. I had zero understanding of my hormones, my levels. And so I'm a little different than you in that, like, the minute they showed me my numbers of vitamin D, I was like, okay, give it to me. Because you proved to me that my numbers were bad.
Mine was because they wanted to give me a prescription.
Yeah,
and so
which makes
like,
sense.
Are y'all just selling me junk?
Yeah. And then the chiropractor thing, I think I've been a chiropractor person for a long time. And like
there's two different kinds. There's the come every day for a month, and then there's the come when you need it.
Right. And so I feel like that set me up for the whole, because they're real big about not every vitamin is the same vitamin or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that got me at least on some of those. But again, you've got to identify your what you need to learn, what you're deficient in understanding, and like start paying attention to it. Because that was the other thing. Aaron and I would go to the gym together, but we didn't do the same workout together. Like, not that we couldn't have or whatever, but like I was like, I got the understanding of what I want to do and where I want to see some results. So I'm gonna now go do those things, and that would have never happened 5 years before, because I would have been too intimidated to leave his side to go do my own thing to maybe look like a fool, which was silly. But I just didn't. I didn't feel comfortable there. Yeah. And until I decided, oh, I'm not supposed to be comfortable. I'm supposed to be uncomfortable. Yeah. I couldn't make the change, if that makes sense.
We've got to get over that feeling of uncomfortability.
Right.
Because you know what people do? If you're good at running, you run.
Right.
And if you're good at lifting weights, you lift weights. But you've got to do both.
Right, because I'm great at those classes. I can go to those HIIT classes all day long, and like I'm out of breath, but I can still do it all.
Yeah.
But the lifting of any sort, I was so wussy that I would just give up. I would just, I
and I'm on the other side. I
right.
can lift all the weights in the gym, but you put me on a cardio machine, and I feel like I want to die.
Yeah.
Which is why Kyle is my workout partner, and we've been such a great mix for each other because he loves the cardio side. And so he'll get me over there on a bike doing interval stuff, and I'm dying, and then I've got him over on a squat rack dying. But it takes both, because you've got to be putting your body under load, and you've got to be eating enough.
It's real.
The truth is, I hear all these women that they'll say they don't want to get bulky.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to get bulky?
Oh, for sure.
I'm eating my body weight in a gram of protein per day for years, and I'm lifting immensely heavy weight, and I'm not that bulky.
Right.
Like, for a woman to get bulky, these bulky women you see, they're on steroids.
Right, correct.
They're not just on TRT. They're on high level. They're taking tren. They're taking real steroids.
We don't have anyone who really talks to us about it with the right understanding. Like,
you're afraid you're going to look like a bodybuilder, bro. I promise your body's not built to do that. But as women, if you guys will put muscle on, it's going to fight your osteoporosis.
Absolutely.
It's going to make you stronger, getting under that load.
Well, and honestly, when I started lifting is when I started losing more weight. And so now I make sure I have two, segments, 2 times, whatever, of some sort of cardio in a week and 3 times of weights in a week in order to get my heart rate up. I also, we talked about it, or my own mental health, like I need some release of like that tension and stress, and cardio helps with that. So it's good. But I have to also equally have 3 times a week where I am like straining, whatever. How did you say it? Under load? Like I put enough load on to actually feel it, not just
doing it 20 reps
of like 7 pounds or something, which is what I used to do, thinking, I'm doing weights.
You've got to be getting 6 to 8 to 10 reps and then failure. You've got to be lifting weights to failure, max 10 reps. You know, the muscle is important because muscle is the thing that burns calories.
Right.
And so the best way to lose weight is not to do more cardio. It's to put on muscle. Because think about it. Throughout the day, I could sit in a chair and not hardly move, and my body's going to demand 2,200 calories. That's your standard just to be alive. But I could go to the gym and run on the treadmill for an hour and only burn 350.
Right.
So what's better for me is to increase my body's metabolism, which demands more food. So when you put more muscle on, your body's demanding more calories, so you're losing weight.
Yeah.
So now that I've put probably 20 pounds of muscle on in the last 5 years, my body is losing fat quicker, and I'm not having to do the cardio.
Right.
But we want the shortcut.
Which is another thing.
Because the scale,
oh yeah.
We could do a whole episode on the scale. The scale, guys, the scale doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I had gotten down to 220 2 Christmases ago. And I looked emaciated a little bit. I'm 220 now, and I'm strong. And so I'm like, it's not about what the scale says.
Well, yeah. And yes, what you're saying, I think for females, for sure, like the water retention that we deal with in our cycles and all the pieces, but then our muscle, when we gain, what is it? Muscle weighs more than fat is the phrase they say. And for a female, 5 pounds is a big deal, can be a big deal one way or the other. And me in my 130s now is healthier than I ever was, and in a pant size smaller than I was in my 120s when I was not at all muscular and whatever. And that was so confusing for my brain that I would freak out when the scale would start going up, until I started paying attention to and again, I'm a little bit crazy. So I had to change how often I was weighing myself, some of that. But again, because is that what misnomers are? I had I had to unlearn some things, right? I had to, because I had the wrong truth in my head it wasn't truth. And I had to relearn it so that I could go, this is good, keep going, rather than be like, bye, I'm scared, never mind, and get defeat.
I've heard it said the only way you can truly weigh yourself is if you weigh yourself every day at the same time, and then add the numbers together and divide it by 30 for 30 days in a month, and then you get your average weight over the month.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Because we went to Enrique's son's wedding the other night, and I ate I didn't eat any cake because she wouldn't bring me any.
Oh my God.
But I would have eaten a bunch of cake.
Friend failed.
And what would have happened, I would have gained 3 pounds. But it wasn't real weight.
Right.
It was water retention and a little bloat and all this stuff.
Well, and they had sparkling water and a bunch of real water and queso and or that's what I drank anyways or whatever. Yeah. I drank a real Coke for the first time forever. All of that. It's no, it's so real. And I think then for females, because of our cycles, which we talked about on Sunday, and whoa, it's crazy, but it was good because no one talks about it. I'm thinking about when I was a kid, health class, and then the way, my mom did her best to explain to me what was happening, but it wasn't deep understanding of where I was at. And so you mentioned it, I had a baby very young, and so I became super aware of all of that very young, and because of the way that I am, I learned a lot about it. But the truth is, unless you have the kind of brain that wants to go learn about it on your own, there's no one, it's not like they're explaining this to us. They're not saying welcome to womanhood. And maybe when they were younger, there was videos they played. I have no idea, but not me, not my health class.
Didn't do it.
It didn't do it. And
they were too busy teaching us to put condoms on instead of explaining how our bodies work.
1,000%. Andrew's
screwed it up.
But it's true. Screwed it up. They did. And so I have an app now called Lively, and it will literally tell me, I'm going to look it up, and it will tell me that where I'm at in my luteal phase or whatever phase. It will talk about it based on which I'm oh shoot, I didn't enter the right data right now. I'm just looking at oops, I missed a day. But it is so helpful to me to understand what my symptoms might be, what I might be feeling. And I said it on Sunday, for awareness, not for excuse. For the awareness of what's happening in me, not the excuse of
I'm going to be rude to everybody.
I can be rude and you can't be mad at me for being rude, because no. And I think that's such an important understanding for women. And so we talked about all those pieces, and it's so important to know, because you can feel so defeated, but if you're oh wait, my period's about to start tomorrow, well then that's why you're bloated and your pants don't fit. Don't give up. I promise you, there have been times in my life.
Don't eat a bunch of pizza just because your pants already don't fit.
Or stop going to the gym because I've been going for 3 weeks and now my pants don't fit. Well, yeah, they're just tight today. Get over it. It'll change in 4 days. Drink more water, all that. And if we can just have awareness, it will help us really much in what we're doing. Okay, go. What's next?
I have a couple things written in my notes. I don't know how much to talk about it. I wrote creatine down. Creatine as a supplement would be good for every person in the world to take.
I was going to say, explain it a little bit, because this is something I'm newly understanding.
So creatine is going to help your mitochondrial health. This is your cellular health. Mm-hmm. It's going to help shuttle water into the muscle. It's going to help uptake nutrients into your body. And it's going to help your body repair quicker. So if you're working out at all and you feel real sore, it's going to help your soreness. And the studies that are coming out with creatine to help cognitive health are huge. So I learned this on Diary of a CEO, the one that I just talked about. I think they had Peter Attia on talking about creatine, and they talked about what it does for your cognition. And they said that if you have a really bad night's sleep and so I take 5 grams of creatine every morning in my water. And they said, if you have a really bad night's sleep and you double your creatine intake, in your mind, it's going to be as though you didn't lose any sleep. Now, this is not a hack that you're going to live off of forever. And if you take too much creatine and don't have enough water, you're going to have a problem in your kidneys. So you have to do it together. You have to carry water around with you to keep your body hydrated properly.
Or you can get a cute one that matches your shirt. See?
I've had these cups for 5 years. Look, my lid's all broke, but I don't care. My straw doesn't match. I don't care.
But, okay, wait. So you take it first thing in the morning before you work out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I take it first thing in the morning. And then
I've read
Sundays,
both things about that you should take it before or you should take it right after. And I didn't know
some people do it both.
Does it matter?
No. I mean, as long as it's in your system. Creatine is one of those things that once it's in you, it kind of stays in you. And creatine's in steak. Creatine is a natural free-form thing that's in our bodies. It's just we're not eating enough meat to give our bodies what it needs anymore. And so that's a big piece. So I would suggest taking creatine. For me, I've started tracking my calories that I'm eating. I don't do it every day because I've gotten a lot better at it, but I have an app called MyFitnessPal that you can track what you're eating throughout the day. And now you can just take pictures of your plate, and it can AI is genius, right? It can upload all the things, or you can scan barcodes on the back of things. And so for me, I work to get a gram of protein per body pound in per day. So I'm eating 220 grams of protein every day of my life. Now, the only way I can do that is through taking in some shakes. And so I buy a high quality protein. I have a bone broth protein, or I have a bovine protein, and I have whey protein. And so the whey protein is it's from a company called Alpha Lion, which I know sounds like real douchebaggery, but Alpha Lion is the brand that I buy because it's not full of a bunch of trash. And is it $3 more than what they sell at Costco? Yes.
Right.
It's $3 more per month. And so I'll drink a shake with 2 scoops of that and then a scoop of collagen protein. And I get that in. And that shake right there is 65 grams of protein. And so it's just like being intentional. And even if you started drinking an Ensure every morning, or a muscle milk, or walking around eating a protein bar, but it's just, I think that majority of people are so deficient in it that you're not giving your body what it needs.
We just do the same thing we've always done. I mean, that's insanity, is doing the same thing you've always done, hoping for a different result.
Right.
But yet we just hope for different results, but don't change anything. And I think, I talked about it in my 30s, I had to cut sugar. I used to be I grew up eating French fries and drinking a Pepsi or a Coke with lunch every day, and I had to cut.
Because that's literally no good food.
None.
That's not even food.
None. It's not food at all. And no nutrients.
You're just not hungry.
Right.
So your body is starving to death.
Correct.
While getting fatter.
Exactly. And so it was absurd.
It's a phenomenon in America.
Yes. And so in my 30s, recognized okay, you have too much sugar intake. You're literally addicted. You say it best. Sugar's drugs. You're addicted to sugar. And so had to cut that. But then in my 40s, recognized, okay, well, that was not just enough now. Now I have to do something else. So, okay, I was just drinking my coffee with almond milk, unsweetened almond milk. Oh, because that was a healthy version of my coffee. Well, now I need my coffee to actually have efficiency for me and productivity. So now I'm going to add my protein to my coffee in the morning, and that is going to help me establish the new baseline of who I am, where I'm at, the protein I'm intaking. Because I think protein and fiber are the two things that we do not.
See, I'm not as good at fiber. I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
But it's a harder one for me.
Yeah, it's harder. Or it's hard, I think. And it again, your gut health is so important to the rest of your health that you have to pay attention to it. And so for me,
do you take a fiber supplement? Do you do a Metamucil or something?
I have a vitamin that has a high level of fiber in it. It's a multivitamin of yes, it's a women's multivitamin that has a bunch of things in it, but one of the pieces is the fiber, because I was not getting, but I also take a probiotic is a good thing. Like those are important pieces, but the fiber intake, Aaron is really good at, like, he'll just eat literally a handful of greens. Spinach, which has magnesium, but then also the magnesium I take helps with digestion. Again, there's digestion, but also your fiber, both of those, like you talked about Zypan. I'm like, both of those, the older we get, the harder it is. Well, it's just what you said. We live in a world that's trying to kill us. So our microbiome in our belliness is just ruined. It's just destroyed all the time. And so, like, Zypan, digestive enzymes, different things can help reestablish that. But then fiber is the most, like, natural way to help reestablish that. But then again, you have to drink enough water, because if you don't, then you just have gas all the time.
Yeah.
And this is worse.
Yeah. So we don't want you to be overwhelmed.
No.
We're an hour in here, and I don't want you feeling overwhelmed like it's too much. You just have to start with the next right step. Just a couple of things quick is we talked through Element a little bit on Sunday. It's a water additive. So if just drinking plain water is hard, don't just buy Crystal Light.
Right.
Get like a health-focused water additive. And so Element is sodium and magnesium and all these things. They're natural minerals. Mm-hmm. They're going to be good for you.
Yeah.
So that's been helpful.
No, that's super good.
I wanted to talk peptides just for a second, because peptides are coming more onto the scene.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to, again, I've geeked out way too hard on some of the stuff, but a peptide is just an amino acid that's already in your body. And so there's a peptide out there for everything now. And the reason that your doctor isn't going to prescribe them is because they're not getting any kickbacks from Big Pharma, because Big Pharma can't patent them, because they're already existing in your body. So they can't actually make any money selling them. And so your doctor might not even have peptides that he prescribes. Mine does, not just Merrick, but even my primary care can prescribe peptides. And so, like, I don't know if I had a tear or what in my upper forearm, that no matter what I did, it wouldn't go away.
Right.
This tear would not heal for months. I couldn't lift anything. I couldn't pick up my cup, like, straight. And so they suggested I do a peptide of TB500 and BPC157, which sound like really dangerous chemicals.
Well, it sounds crazy, like your R2D2. Like
and so I did this stack of these two things for 90 days, and it's an at-home injection. So I'm literally like, get a syringe and suck it up and stab myself in subcutaneous fat, which is just belly fat, for 90 days. And I'm telling you, it healed my arm.
Yeah.
It healed my arm. And it's all natural. It's all amino acids that are already in your body. It's just that we're missing all of these things. Well, and I really believe that Adam and Eve were superheroes. I really believe
superhuman.
If you were to stand me next to Adam, I think I would be comically dwarfed and small and weak and not smart. We think that they're like these cave people that were like dumb. Oh, apple. No, dude, these people, what God created was a lot. I think we've denatured from what God's created us to be.
Yeah.
And so there can be peptides out there. So, like, you might not necessarily have to get on testosterone.
Right.
You can get on, I think for me, probably the precursor to that was a peptide. And so research it. If you have a health issue, look it up.
Well, I mentioned
peptides to help with blank. See what's out there.
Well, there's like a lot of even skincare now that's coming out with peptides that are, like, again, from other, like, Korean skincare, like, there's because, again, Western medicine is designed to kill us. But I think that's one thing I didn't get to talk about on Sunday is, like, paying attention to the, what did you call them? Endocrine disruptors.
Yeah,
in our world, there are so many things that that are really out there to, like, bring us, like, chaos and that mess with our hormones. So, like, for women, our cosmetics, our feminine products, like, all of these things, they have bleach in them. They have added fragrances that, like, literally break down your system. And then, like, we just have to start paying attention. I think that's the piece is, like, we do not any longer, because of the world we live in, we do not any longer accept all of the news at face value.
No.
We watch the media, we watch the news, and we know there's a slant to this.
Yeah.
And I think that for our health.
A slant because somebody's getting paid somewhere.
Right. And like Mike sent a link to us today of like doctors who are getting paid by Big Pharma, and you can like look up your doctor and see if they're there and what they're getting paid. But like, we have to recognize that there is a slant to all of these things that's trying to like, either make money off of us or sell us their product or get us on their like diet plan, or like you and I, we talked about, we've done chemical bars, we've done all this. Like, pay attention a little bit and start being a little more aware rather than just receiving everything at face value. And I think that's the piece that once I started recognizing, okay, health is not one size fits all. Our hormones are not one size fits all. Our prescriptions, they're not. And like, I've got to start doing my own evaluation of things and like deciding for myself what I want. You said beautifully, like, about 60-year-old Trustin. And like deciding today who 60-year-old Trustin will be, is it an intentional decision? So it can feel overwhelming, but then when I look at my life and go, oh wait, what do I wish 25-year-old Whitney would have done to prepare her for 40? Oh shoot.
Like, bought some Apple stock.
Yeah. Well, you've seen those, right. You've seen those like, reels where it's like, I met my old self for coffee today, what I would tell her. And I'm like, okay, well, what if, guess what? Right now, I could prepare that list for 60-year-old, Whitney or whatever, that I wouldn't have to, in my 60s, go, hey, 40-year-old Whitney, I wish you would have done. Instead, I can be like, thank you that you did. Thank you that you made those changes. And I think that's some of the best.
Should I talk GLP-1s or no?
Yeah, I think it's, look, here's the thing. If they listen to Talking More, they're going to listen no matter how long it is, especially about this. People are interested. So don't be worried that it's too long.
GLP-1s are not new, but a recently booming industry of a weight loss drug. And so they now have a bunch of, there's semaglutide, there's trizepatide, and there's now coming out retatrutide. So there's 3 current, and they're all targeting different endocrine systems, pieces. It's hard to not all the way explain it and then halfway explain it. And so they get a bad rap for, I think, not great reasons. So if you take, well, we just found out that ibuprofen's bad for you. But like, if you took ibuprofen 4 times a day for 10 years, you're going to have problems. Right. In the same way that if you abuse these drugs, you're going to have an issue. But these are peptides. But if you have found yourself unable, no matter what you try or do, no matter how much discipline you leverage at it, if you're substantially overweight, if you're trying to drop 1 dress size, it's not for you. It's not worth the disruption of anything in your system. But if you're really like having an issue with becoming diabetic, with how your body is navigating insulin, then I think it might be worth talking to an actual doctor about getting on one of these trizepatide, semaglutide, or retatrutide. Retatrutide is the newest one. And they're essentially, trizepatide hits 2 things, semaglutide hits 2, trizepatide hits 3, retatrutide hits 4. And they're 4 different like systems of your body to help reduce hunger, to help your body navigate blood sugar. They're actually helping people get over cigarette addictions, alcoholism, like all of these things that they're doing. And so do people abuse them? Yeah, here's why. They take it, it crushes their appetite, they eat 0, they go walk on a treadmill for 100 hours, and they get all screwed up. And their body loses weight, but it's not only losing fat, it's losing muscle. And the worst thing you can do is lose muscle.
Right.
So you don't want to crush your appetite to the point that you're not getting your protein in. You want to temper it just a little bit to help you not binge, but you're still counting getting in healthy stuff. And so there's a couple people in my life that I'm close to that have started taking these GLP-1s. And as I talk to them, I'm like, okay, you've got to get your protein in and you have to put your body under load.
Right.
Because then you're not going to lose muscle. And then your body's able to lose the fat. And when you can lose the fat is an organ on your body that's doing all kinds of things. The fatter you are, the hungrier you are.
Right.
The more body fat on you, that tissue wants to be fed. And so it's literally sending out, it's called ghrelin in our system, and it's sending out another hormone in your body called ghrelin 2 receptors that's demanding you to eat. And you're at the pantry at 9:30 starving to death and you don't know why. It's because your fat wants to live. And so sometimes your body gets to a tipping point of unhealth that you have to, there's a chemical battle in your body with your fat. And so you have to battle that chemically. Or you just are one of these few people that have super discipline and can handle the pain of it. But if you haven't been able to, then it might be worth talking to somebody about 6 months of a GLP-1.
Well,
but again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just talking the other side.
Somebody we talked to said, my doctor has talked to me about some of these, and I just shut it down every time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think we should let misnomers or misconceptions or whatever, stigmas, keep us from listening and hearing out the options that are available to us in a world that is very much. And then another thing our staff today said, which is really true, is that we live in eating disorder culture. Like, especially, I think it kind of started with your and I's generation up until further. Like, there's a joke from a movie that she always says, I'm just one stomach flu away from my goal weight. Like, that used to be the idea, was just starve yourself or just swallow a tapeworm, you know, so that you can lose the weight. And there's this food noise, whether it's eating too much, not eating enough, starving yourself, binging, all kind of unhealthy ideas around food. And really in the world that we live in, it's really perpetuated. And it's like, hey, why not just at least sit with your doctor long enough to understand that maybe there's some things that are out of balance that you could get back in balance really easily and really quickly with a little help? Or, because are there going to be side effects? Maybe.
Yeah.
But are there side effects to being drastically overweight, to being in cardiovascular disease, to high cholesterol?
And every body's different.
100%.
And so some people will have huge side effects to all kinds of things and others don't.
Right.
And so the only way to know that, are there the rare cases of someone who took a GLP-1 and then they had some horrible gastrointestinal thing? Yeah. But I think that those are 1 in a million probably. Right. Or they just took way too much.
Right.
And then ate nothing and their digestive system literally shut down. And then they tried to eat a cheeseburger at midnight one night and they got constipated and thought they were going to die. We can't just, you know what they say, they point the camera at the worst situation.
Right.
And so don't just look at the worst situation.
Right. It's like right now, all we're hearing about is airplane crashes.
Right.
But the truth is, if you look at the stats, there's actually fewer airplane crashes this year than there was last year, than there was the year before that. But right now they're just pointing the cameras at it.
Yeah.
What, you have another thing? Because I have a question
on GLP-1s, no. Well, we have on our list diet, exercise, oral, and nutrients.
Oh. Well, that's, yeah.
But go.
No, I just think that of what would you say to someone who's been listening, really wants to get started, really wants to how do I even ask this correctly? How long should they prepare themselves for a uncomfortable shakeup for it to start to feel normal and routine?
1 year.
Okay. That's good. That's what I was going to say.
365 days.
We just have to give ourselves reasonable expectations for how long this is going to take. How many times you fall off the wagon doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Keep trying, keep going.
I had to have a food scale out and weigh my food for a while. I don't do that very often anymore because now I know it's a part of my routine, my regime. But I had to have an alarm to put myself to bed. And the first year was hard. But guys, you're going to still be alive. If you plan on being alive in 13 months, it's worth the fight for 12.
Yes. No, correct. I just want to set
but also
reasonable expectations.
5 years, because I've been doing this for 5 years and I still have goals I haven't reached.
Yeah, for sure. But I think the super uncomfortable, got to go to the doctor, got to get the blood work, because my personality, once I've made a decision, I want to jump into it and I want it to be done yesterday.
Yeah.
And so setting there, even the first time I remember getting my doctor's appointment, I had to wait a month and a half and I was so bugged that I almost wanted to quit. And it's we have to set the reasonable expectation for how much energy, effort, time, whatever this is going to take so that we don't get disappointed and want to quit, and so that we don't.
The shorter answer is 12 weeks. that if everybody started sleeping, drinking enough water, working out, and paying attention to their diet, in 12 weeks, you would see a noticeable
change,
5 to 10 pound shift in your body in 12 weeks. But the real answer is a year, because you can do anything hard for 12 weeks, but it's a year becomes like, oh, this is my new normal.
Yeah.
And then you got it.
Yeah. No, that's good. Anything?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much we talk about exercise specifically and like body part breakdowns and nutrients. Like, I don't think we start talking about meal prepping and all that.
No, I think, but
we could do a whole episode on meal prepping.
But what you talked about in your notes you had for Sunday that we didn't get to was like the whole idea of just like planning ahead of time and like having a couple of like silly, but like you have protein bars specific in your office.
In my office.
I have
ate one for breakfast this morning.
Always available to me at some level. Like just small things that like set you up for success. So you don't set yourself. That's what I've done wrong 100 times is I don't make any plan and then it's 2 p.m. and I'm starving to death and then I go
to Torchy's.
Yeah, and eat queso and then I'm mad at myself and then I just complete the cycle. And so I'm like, just the wisdom of like
taking a few hours of your week to meal prep is going to save you. And so I will every week go and buy some steaks, some chicken breast, and some burger patties. And I just spend a couple hours grilling them up and throwing them in Tupperware containers in the fridge. And so like, I know tonight when I go home for dinner, what I'm eating. It's already there. I already cooked it. Rachel didn't cook it. I already cooked it. And I know what its macros are. And so like the ease, because what happens if I don't have any food at home, I'm swinging through somewhere. Mm-hmm. And so having that stuff prepped and around is huge. And the reason I say it's going to take a year is because you're going to do a year of cooking it and throwing it away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you haven't noticed, I'm extreme sometimes. We call the church more for a reason.
Right.
And I would make way too much meal prep and then it would rot in the fridge and Rachel would get mad at me because I'm wasting money and I'm still going out to eat. And you've got to figure out your rhythm of like, how much chicken should you buy? How do you like to cook it? Do you get sick of it?
How often are you actually eating it?
Right.
When are you?
And now I know stuff. I'm going to cook this. I'm going to freeze this much. Then I'm going to de-thaw it on this day. So like last night, I took, I think 7 meals that I already prepped and pulled them out of the freezer, put them in the fridge. And so tonight I'm going to go home and eat one. And it's going to be delicious. There's a couple guys I follow on Instagram that just do like meal prep stuff. And I'll just scroll through their thing. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
And then I'll go to H-E-B and buy all the crap and make it.
I think it's just a good, again, we're hoping to help people find balance. Yeah. And I think that like you can start to live in the extremes and then that feels defeating and then you quit. And it's like, no, find the right balance. And that's good wisdom to help.
Sam's has these little they sell like slider burgers. It's like 90-10 ground beef. And I'll buy one of those. It probably has 24 of them in it. And I'll just grill them all. Mm-hmm. And then throughout the week, anytime somebody in my family is hungry, there's a burger patty. Mm-hmm. Lean beef burger patty in the fridge. Mm-hmm. And it's super easy for me to go and grab 2 of those, put a little bit of ketchup on my plate, boom, 30 grams of protein.
Yeah.
You know, or same, we buy the chicken cutlets. Mm-hmm. So not the big chicken breast, they're already cut like chicken tenders.
Yeah.
You literally throw them in the air fryer. It takes 12 minutes and then you get a couple sauces that you like to dip them in. Mm-hmm. But it's those hacks that help.
No, it's really good. I think just starting and then giving yourself the grace that you're going to fail.
Yeah.
And so try again. Like, is the piece that, like, for people, I hope.
Do 10% better.
Right. That's like, you keep saying it. Like, next right step is like the way we live our whole life. But in this, there's no truer, like, hold on to that truth. Because you can't change it all overnight. But you can change it all one step at a time. And so, like.
You can go to bed on time, drink water, and meal prep. Right. If you just do that,
you're going to change
I promise it's going to make a change. And then you do that for 3 months, and then you go get your blood work, and then you figure that out for 3 months. And then after 6 months, you're like, you know what? I'm going to start going for a walk. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just little pieces that you can just add in.
Yeah, it's super good. What else? Anything else?
I don't know. You had sorry guys, you had
what did I say?
Dental.
Oh.
Do you want to talk dental?
I just think, okay. Someone said to us after that we missed a few things and they were right. And
we have a doctor in our church.
Yeah,
who came up to us
and we just was like, hey, this was amazing. There was a few things I wish you would have said that are super important to people. And Yeah, I'm like,
the one we already hit, eat enough.
And we already hit that one. One was like
enough.
A lot of, especially women in our age, but I think maybe men, I have no idea, are not eating enough. 2, your dental health is super important. Like, I can't say it enough. I used to work in a dentist's office, so then I was reminded of like, dang it, you're right, I should have said that. Because like periodontal disease is like a big deal. But the reason why it's a big deal, yes, you're gonna lose your gums structure, which is then gonna make you lose your teeth, and that's sad. But the reason why it's actually so bad and you have to start getting it clean, your teeth clean, your gums clean and all that, is because it's super connected to your heart health. And we used to have to, like, when people were diagnosed with it, we would then have to get a hold of their PCP and make sure that they were aware of what was going on, because primary care, because it can so affect. And it's crazy also that when you will get your teeth health into alignment, your physical health will come back into alignment.
Here's why. Your gums are the thinnest barrier into your bloodstream.
Well, there's pills and medicines that we take under our tongue, in our mouth.
If you're ever watching like a mobster movie and they've got like cocaine and they cut the brick open, what's the guy do? Pinky finger, and he rubs in his gums because it's the fastest absorption of something into your bloodstream other than a needle.
Right.
And so what happens is you have all this gunk that's living in your mouth, and it's just getting put into your blood. You're literally...
You're swallowing it
also. And it's getting in your stomach. Yes. And so you have this infection, essentially.
It's what it is, bacteria.
That's in your bloodstream, and it's in your gut health. And it's not just about, like, do you have white teeth? It's about, like, there was this lady I used to work with back at Sears. Her name was Eunice. And her teeth were so gross.
Right.
And so it was like, you'd look at her and it was like, dude, you got bugs almost. It was like so bad. And she would joke and say, the only thing holding my teeth in is the plaque. And I'm like, that's not real. Like, that's not true.
But like, I've known people who've had like an abscess tooth forever, and they'll just keep going back to the emergency room when it gets bad and get an antibiotic. And that is not getting rid of the infection. Yeah. That is putting a Band-Aid on something that is infecting your whole body. And
but you're causing your whole body to live in a fight scenario.
Your immune system is deflated because you are constantly
So one person
fighting.
Sneezes on you and you're sick.
And then you wonder why. And it's like, well, when was the last time you went and got your teeth checked? When was the last time you actually got that taken care of? And like, there's nothing more painful than a toothache. But why do we wait until a toothache to get it done? And like, in our 20s, we didn't have health insurance for a long time, and like didn't go to the dentist for a long time. And when I went back after like 5 years or something, I had like 6 cavities, and it was a mess. But I remember I had to get it taken care of then. And like, thank God I did, because had I not, what would it be now? I don't know. And like that, it's a pain in the butt. It costs more money. Dental insurance is a scam. Like, it's not as good as it should be, all of the things. But it's when you recognize how connected it is to your health, your actual physical health, I'm like, go get it. We have more availability at our fingertips than we ever had before. Yeah. Fewer people of our generation are going to have dentures. I mean, my grandparents, they all had dentures, right?
Yeah, you're
but
right.
Our generation is not going to have to if we will go and get our teeth taken care of. But because we don't do it, because whatever, we're too busy, we end up unhealthy.
I said it on Sunday, and it's not fun to hear. But it would be better to deal with your health than to buy another new car.
Right.
Like, I want a new truck so bad, I can't even stand it some days. But like, I wouldn't trade the things that I have gained over the last 5 years for having a cool car for the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. And so maybe whatever in your spending habits needs to change. You've just got to know, like, hey man, it's better to not go on a vacation.
Right. Like,
I know that you every year go to wherever. It's better this year to not go and invest that money in your health if that's where you are financially. It's better to never buy another pair of shoes. If you own 3 pairs of shoes, don't buy shoes. Don't buy new shoes. Invest it in your health, because it's gonna be good for you.
Somebody on
Andrew didn't like that one.
He said, he literally has shoes in his cart, and he just showed them to me that he wants to order. This lady on Sunday, they were saying, whenever we showed what did you call it?
Our fat montage.
Our fat montages. I showed mine first, and one of them is literally my face this close. Like, and I'm on a video. And apparently she said, "Oh my," like real big. And one, it's embarrassing to show like these old pictures of us. Also because we looked sad, not just because we looked fat. You know what I mean? Like everything about ourselves did not look as healthy as it is now. But then the truth is, as I looked at him, I just was like, thank God. Like, thank God I solved that. And that is now because that could be instead the goal of where I'm trying to get to right now.
Right. I could be there hoping to get here.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I could be unhealthier than I even was 5. Oh, think about it. Had I not changed the trajectory of what I was doing,
I'd be 300 pounds.
I was going to say, I would be 50 pounds overweight, not 30 or whatever, or 40, 60 pounds, not 30, whatever. I was 30 pounds overweight then. I'd be 60 pounds overweight by now, trying to get to 30 pounds overweight. And what if that was my, like before and after, that was my before, now is my after. What if that was what I was hoping to get to? Yeah. And I'm like, oh my, it's worth it. It's worth the money. It's worth the time. It's worth the energy. And you said it best on Sunday. You're worth it.
You're worth it.
You're worth it. Your children deserve you being around. Your family, your future, and we talked about the outflow of it, but your future capacity, your flourishing relationships, your full peace, all of those things are the win of getting yourself into full health and alignment. And so like that's what we're believing for in this whole series for people. But if you start with your physical health, it's amazing what else would fall into.
You got to embrace discomfort.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's a whole other episode.
That sucks, but you have to do it.
Embrace the discomfort, and I promise you're going to come out on the better end. Guys, the reason we're talking about this is because we never heard anybody in our church circles do it.
No.
And so, I also should say that these dudes that I said I listened to aren't Christians. Well, maybe I think Sal from Mind Pump is a Christian, but I don't know if many of them are believers.
Right.
But it's sad that I had to go outside of like any Christian circle.
Yeah.
To find anything on the body God designed.
Well, I think,
and so that's why we're trying to bring it into a spiritual space, because we should.
Well, you and I have been in the past, accused of, should they really be talking about all that stuff? And I think what we've decided is absolutely, absolutely we should, because if we will, then hopefully everybody else will. And eventually, I'd rather than think I'm crazy, and that's fine. If it will get other people talking. Because even today at lunch, we're talking about our kids and the way we take care of them and the future relationship we have with them when they grow. And one of our girls whose baby turned 1 year old this week. I'm so glad that she's able to sit at those tables and have those conversations.
Right.
Because I never had anyone to help me understand when my baby was 1 year old what I needed to be prepared for as a mom when he was 23 years old. And I'm like, the same here. Let's talk about it.
And my hope for Tyler and Haley, Tyler's on our staff. I love Tyler and Haley. That hopefully me and Aaron both gained a bunch of weight after having kids.
Of course.
My hope is that Tyler's going to have some men that he can ask questions about. And that Tyler and Haley's sex life isn't negatively affected.
100%.
How Rachel and I's sex life was affected because we're just talking
real
about it.
With each other and not pretend and not acting like we're super
Sorry,
humans.
Tyler and Haley, but insert any younger
name,
couple.
Any name, yeah.
Our hope is that they can be farther than we are.
And we're already seeing that. And I think
day.
that's what the win is. And so anytime anyone's like, do you really think that's wise? Yes, absolutely. It's super wise. And the more times scandalous things come out in the church, and the more motivated I am to keep talking about all of the things.
One of my favorite lines I said on Sunday in second service, it wasn't in my notes, is I said, some of y'all don't need another sermon. You need a supplement.
Right.
And I think in our Christian circles, we can think that the whole thing is just another sermon teaching Bible idea. But there's also dude, fix your health. That's all.
No, it's so...
we should call the episode, Dude, Fix Your Health?
Dude, Fix Your Health. There you go, Andrew. There's the title.
I don't know if that's what we call it.
No, it's good. It's just the understanding of we love you. And the reason we're talking about it is not to point at you. It's to say, hey, we didn't know. Nobody told us. So we're going to tell you so that hopefully you don't have to be where we are. Yeah. Or were. Not where we are. Hopefully you get to be where we are, not where we were. There you go. However we say it.
Guys, we are sorry. We did not do Tomming Around Town.
Oh my word, we keep saying it every week.
We're losers. We owe a bunch of you all kind of hats. So here's what we're going to do. Next episode, we're going to do 4.
Okay.
Bang, 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 bang.
Bang-a-rang, as you
We
say.
have to.
Yeah, okay.
What, you're reading my watch. Am I getting texts?
No, I didn't know what time it was. I was
Whitney can spy anywhere.
well, yeah.
Whitney can read anything.
Today
I'll be texting someone across the room and she'll ask me about what they were saying. I'm like, how did you even know?
It's just a gift.
It's a gift. So I saw her look at my watch.
I was like,
she's reading something right now.
No, we started this podcast at I didn't know what time it was. I'm like, oh, it's already 4 o'clock.
How long are we at actually recording, Andrew? Are we at 90?
Yeah, right
dude,
at
90 minutes.
Hey, that's okay.
Are we? Is this a record?
Maybe.
Okay.
Probably.
Guys, Tom Around Town, hit us up. I've already seen a couple of you.
Yes.
If you have questions, we want to know them.
This is what I was going to say. Don't be afraid. I mean, literally, we've been getting tons of questions about the politics one, this one. I'm
you can ask any question, and we're going to answer it. Aside from you have a dead body in your trunk, we're going to call the police. But other than that.
Don't tell them that. Just let them call so we can call the police.
Okay, if you have a body in your trunk, call us and tell us.
But I think that just even if it's a Sunday related question, we're going to talk about it here. This is what this platform's for. So don't be afraid to ask questions. I don't know. It's just good. Let's keep talking about it. Talk about it in the lobby. Talk about it amongst yourselves.
When's this episode come out? Thursday?
Thursday.
Ooh, guys, this week, Whitney and I are back doing Tom-style sermon talking about worry.
Worry. It's going to be good.
It's going to be great.
I'm really excited.
So you better get
there. We all
there.
worry too. So we all have bodies and we all worry.
So I know you listen to this and now you're all worried. You're about to be sick.
Oh no.
Don't worry. Be happy. What did that guy wear? It's also Costume Sunday.
Don't worry. Be happy. Oh yeah. Who's that? What is that?
I can see his face.
I know.
He had crazy long hair. David Lee Roth. Is that right?
If that's right, that was a giant pull.
Was that a poll? I might be wrong. It might totally be a different guy.
Yeah, Costume Sunday, wear your costume. We're trying to figure out what to wear that looks like worry without being inside out characters because neither one of us really want to be cartoon characters while doing a sermon, but we can. It's whatever.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I know.
Who's saying don't worry, be happy?
Now we're just literally. Who?
Bobby McFerrin?
Who's that?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, you should have just not Googled it, and then you were looking like you got it.
What songs did David Lee Roth sing?
Oh!
Isn't that my guy? Oh, Jump, Can't Stop Loving You, Hot for Teacher, Running with the Devil. Oh, no, this is the wrong guy.
Wrong guy. That's okay. Oh, yeah. Bobby McFerrin, that's right.
All right.
Don't worry. Be happy.
We can't dress up I don't know.
I don't know. Reggae.
All right,
we can dress up like reggae.
Who?
Reggae. Isn't that's the genre?
We'll be canceled so fast.
Why? Because of weed? Is that why?
No, because we're going to dress up like Jamaican.
Oh, I don't know.
This is cultural misappropriation.
Oh, I didn't.
If we're show up in dreads with
yes, I get what you're saying. I don't know. Sorry. I don't know. I'm just a girl, guys. Just a girl.
We love y'all. I just wanted to spread it out so we'd really be at least 90 minutes.
Okay, we did it.
Hour and a half.
There you go.
Love you.
Love y'all.
See you next time.